So, hi guys. So, this is not another episode, but that this is something that I always wanted to do. You know, I always wanted to talk. This is something that has always been in my heart, actually. Something that I always wanted to talk about. Um, but I've been, contemplating on talking about this. But or been looking. It's. I've been looking for the right time for it. So, so most of you know that started getting in the industry like that was like 2016. Um, After I dropped out of school, I was doing drama. Wanted to be an actor, drop out of school and all of that. Went met this producer, Sonchete Ost. So started working for them for a few jobs as a PA, and then I worked myself up, and then I got some on the way. I got some mentors, people who mentored me, some directors, some DOPs and directors who mentored me to the point where I am right now, full time director. Um, Something that no one ever talks to us about, as young directors. When you are finishing school, or it's either we finish school or you've been like working in the industry for some time. Now you decide that now you want to do this directing thing, for full time. Like when I decided a couple of years ago that I want to do this full time now, I don't want to be freelancing for this and that and that and that and that. This is what I want to do full time directing. There was few things that I didn't know, and there were few things that I didn't understand. I knew the creative side of things. I knew how to do pitches. I knew how to get clients. But the problem was the production side of things, which is the most important part of the director. You can have the creative side. You can have the ability to draw clients, the ability to draw like people to work with you and all of that. But the production side of things is very important. What I was never told was, Andile, now that you want to be a full-time director, don't start this thing on your own. Get a producer, because it's the producer that helps you, work with budgets. Because what happens is that as directors is that you get a job, get a job, and then you get a budget. What you do as the director, you focus on the creative side. So mostly what happens is that as directors, we don't pay much attention on the financial side of things, simply because we are more focused on how, on the product, on the final product, of how it should look like, of how it should be. Your interest is, I want this job to open other doors, to open more doors for me, and then neglect the financial side of things, the budget side of things. Because the budget side of things can determine your future as a director. Because I've made so many mistakes when I started in the industry as a director, simply because I was not shown the perfect direction, like by a proper producer or proper, someone that is produced, or some other directors they never told me that get a producer. They were mentoring me in terms of the creative side of everything. Never told me, get my first job, get the budget, shoot the job. Halfway through the job, the budget is done. It's finished. I'm even worried about that. I've got people working for me, people around me working for me, and these people need to be paid at the end of the job. So those are at the end of the day, those are the mistakes that I've made as the young director, which we are not told when you start your career as a director, because you make mistakes on those things. You focus, you get the budget, you want to produce. You don't even know that you're producing sometimes. Sometimes you don't even know that you're a director, you're producing this job. You just have the money, you just pay for what's needed, pay for what's needed. You're busy focusing on the creative. Okay, we need this now. You pay for what's needed. Before you even know the money is done. You didn't know that you actually were taking the role of the producer as the director, which is something that you are not supposed to be. Because as a director, when you're on the creative, when you're on your creative elements, you shouldn't be focusing on the financial side of the project. You get the producers, people, not just a producer. You don't just go around and look for someone like a production coordinator, someone who can send emails, someone who can make calls. No, get a producer, someone that can crack numbers, someone that won't be afraid to speak with the client when the budget is done, someone who will go and speak and politely speak with the client, because there's only one way to annoy a client is when you speak about money in the middle of a job, talk about the budget, that we are running out of budget. You annoy most of the clients, so a producer that would be able to politely speak about those uncomfortable things with the client, which is the budget. Because myself as a director, many people will be like, I will realize that the budget is done, and I'll be like, nah, I can't speak with the client. Because I think creatively. I don't think numbers. I don't think like a producer. A producer think, think logistically. That's the producer. That's the job of the producer. Thinks money. Thinks logistically. Thinks money. So someone that will be able to have those uncomfortable financial conversations with the client. If you blew the budget in the middle of the job, and the producer sees that the budget is done, the producer will come to you and say, listen, we don't have the budget, so we won't be able to do number one, number two, number three, because there's no budget. You know what I mean? But the producer that will tell you is the director. The producer that won't buy your fist that you're a director and be like, I don't know what I'm going to do, and let things flow. And then at the end of the job, as a director, you only know at the end of the job that the ship sank before you even knew it. You know what I mean? A producer will come to you and tell you that, hey, listen, financially, the ship is sinking right now. That kind of a producer who would be able to talk to you financially boldly as the director and say the thing is shipping now. If you don't get more funds from the clients, it's going to ship, or we have to stop. You know what I mean? Because in my past, what I've done is that I would blow the budget, and then I would fund myself using my own money. And then at the end of the job, I find myself that there is no budget left for the job, and financially myself, I am bankrupt. I don't have money. You know what I mean? So those are the things that, as young directors, when you start doing your own, saying that you want to direct full-time, like on the big stage. I'm not just talking about like doing like your own small projects. I'm talking about when you still want to talk like with big clients and stuff like that. Find yourself a good producer. Never do any job without a producer. If you don't want to find yourself in situations I found myself in the past, because I found myself in so many of those situations in the past, whereby I realize, and I'll be like, and some of the crew will be like, bro, you were spending money like nobody's business. That's why you finished the budget, because you were just giving money away. Someone will come to you, not even question, you will just give money. You don't give money. At some point, some other crew will be like, I'm sure this is a high budget job. In that moment, it's not a high budget job. The budget the client gave me finished a long time ago. At some point, I was just finishing up my money that made the budget look like this is a high budget job. So my advice for you guys is for those who wants to go into directing full time and on the big scale, get a producer. Let the producer deal with the numbers. Don't try and I know sometimes when a director get a client, says, hey, listen, a client, for instance, I had another client from I think he was from Miami. They had a $500,000 budget. They were wanted to shoot something in Cape Town, and I didn't do the job. I refused the job. That was because I was not going to direct the job. I was supposed to be producing the job. You know what I mean? But I took the treatment of the director, and then I looked for a well-experienced producer, and I said, listen, tell me, this is the budget for this job, and this is the treatment. Do you think this is reasonable? And the producer said to me, he's a well-established producer, said, Andile, I wouldn't be involved in something like this because this is one of those things that will left you with debt at the end of the day. I didn't take the job, but someone else took the job. And then I heard that they were owing millions and millions of rands to crew, and they took that job. If I had gone to that experienced producer, what would have happened? I would have been like, yo, $500,000 is a lot of money. I'm gonna take this job. I'm gonna do this, and then I found myself in another problem because of my experiences that I've been through in the past. And then I was like, okay, cool, I'm not going to take this job. My producer said, no, listen, don't take this job. I know this sounds like a lot of money, but according to the expectations of the director and their client from Miami, budget's supposed to be 2 times or 3 times this. Anyone that takes this job is gonna walk away from this job with panic attacks or wanting to hang themselves on the tree. So that producer said to me, Andile, I wouldn't advise your company to take this job. Pass from this job. I never took the job. And then they went to someone else, and that someone else took the job. And then I heard that they were owing millions and millions to crew. So that's my advice to you guys, is that it's not about the money. At the same time, it's about what's going to be done with the money. As the director, I want to go wild. I want to go to the moon. I want to go to Elon Musk. I want to tell Elon Musk, take all of your shooters. I want to shoot with all of your shooters. But the budget says no. You can't even drive to Joburg with you can't even fly to America with this money. And then because of you feel like this money sounds like it's a lot of money. And then you find yourself that you took a job and made promises to the client that you couldn't, fulfill. So get a producer, get a well-experienced producer. If you're a director doing your own thing, get a producer. Work with a producer. A director is nothing without a producer. So work with a producer. Find yourself a producer. It took me some time before I could find a well-experienced producer that could take multi-million rands like of budgets. Producer would say, we can work on this. It took me some time. It took me some time before I could get to that point. It took me so many mistakes, so many disappointments. So that's my advice to you guys. Get a producer. A well-experienced producer. Again, a producer that can crunch the numbers. A producer that is not afraid to tell the director, the ship is sinking. We can't move on. We can't go ahead with this journey. Or a producer will tell the client that, listen, our thing is shipping. We know we've promised you number 1, number 2, number 3. Unfortunately, we can't do number 1, number 2, number 3 because the budget is done unless you guys give us more budget. A producer that can have such conversations with the clients when those conversations, needs to be, held with the clients. So I've always wanted to say this, but there will be a part 2 of this where I will go further, with everything that we are talking about now. So thank you so much, guys. Until next time, cheers.